So ladies and gentlemen, today you can see that I'm starting at a corner, and also I'm starting with 4 kilometers on my clock, just turned to 4. This corner, so be careful not to get the sun, is actually the extreme corner at which you can go in Sheremetievo airport, and I thought I would basically show you the whole domain from one end of it to the rest. And now, as you can see, I've started walking, and of course I'm measuring the paces with the pedometer, so that you can see from one end to another how much space Lord Snowden had at his disposal when he had a 3-week sojourn here nearly 1 year ago, when he escaped from Hawaii and via various ports of call ended up in Moscow, where he still is today as far as we know. He came to obviously the air side. He couldn't get off the air side until he finally got his visa and he could get through and go into Moscow City. Here at Sheremetievo airport, Part E, Terminal E and Terminal F are connected. So at the moment, as far as I'm aware, I mean, I just came down to the opposite end from where I normally am, and I just noticed it's an awful long way, really. It's not at all a small range that he had at his disposal, so I thought, well, what better to do, since I've got the opportunity. It's actually now light. We're back on summertime and the summer flight schedule, so it's an earlier flight away from Moscow. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to show you outside like that is there. I can show you the the whole length and how long it really is, and you can see me measuring it, a single take hopefully, measuring the distance in this wonderful place. Let's check that it's recording okay. Yep, it's recording okay. Want to at the same time to kind of avoid filming anything which might be even remotely strategic, so we're trying to avoid that. Don't want to film people getting on through the gates there, so I turned away from that. And as you can see, probably some of the names, big name brands. Costa Coffee is here, Costa Lotta Coffee, and next to it, well, Always Friday, almost seamlessly the same bread. So this is TGI Fridays. Here available, making a nice return, no doubt, on capital employed. Up this end you've got gates from number 5, which is number 28 or 9 or something, up this end. Where gates 1, 2, 3 and 4 are, I don't know, but I've got an amusing thought that gate 1 is for Putin only, the gate 2 is for other politicians and oligarchs, gate 3 is for visiting heads of state, and gate 4 for other visiting VIPs, politicians and oligarchs, etc. Nobel Prize winners, you name it. And that from then on, from 5 onwards, it becomes more of a... From number 5 onwards, it becomes like a... more public arrangement. There's the chemist shop in here. Russians like their aptekas. I don't know that brand's name from the city. I don't know if it's a one-off or can't really be, can it? Has to be part of a chain, but it's not this one I'm just not familiar with. Near Farm. Neo Farm. Nasha Presa. Our press. Some various bits of amber there with occlusions, if you believe it. Nice books too. Not very many, but good looking ones. That's the important thing. If you want to be seen reading a nice looking book. It looks as though it's been put in a sort of proper leather cover. What's inside, it might be complete dross, of course, you never know. As long as the cover looks good, then you'll be able to be seen reading it in a public place, you'll look cool. So far, 4.3, so 3/10 of a kilometre. Somebody running along with a wheelchair to help a disabled passenger, that's nice. It's not easy to fly, you know, especially with all the, even if you've got no disability, it's tough to go through all the hoops they put you through sometimes. In the end, after you've been in an airport like 10, 12 times, you just get used to it, and then anything which is different that they change around, it greatly disturbs you again. People are wondering why I'm talking to myself, although why they should be, I don't know. I mean, in this day and age, people have these Bluetooth things in their ears and they walk along just talking to themselves. Maybe I should have put an earplug in or something so that I would look as though I was talking to someone in a remote thing. As it is, I'm just having this chat with apparently nobody. I must look really as though I've got advanced technology that's completely hidden. But gone are the days when you look like a complete nut job walking along talking to yourself. So Il Patio. This one here is Il Patio. It's in Poland and in Russia. I don't know if it's also in Czech Republic. Sometimes that trio is favoured. Pardon me. Sheremetievo. It's one of our clients, in fact, that one. Good, very good restaurant, chain. And there's several of them even in the airport. They do a very nice sea buckthorn tea. I've already been in a different one to that and actually had some sea buckthorn tea there. Ablipichovy chai, they call it. If you come to Russia, you must have ablipichovy chai. Sea buckthorn tea is very healthy, full of vitamin C and other things as well, which heal you. So we should definitely try it. So we appear to be coming along to an area with us, and like the end of this, if you like, of this bit of it. But never fear, if Lord Snowden, when he was here, if he thought he was coming to the end and had nothing else to look at but those few cafes, then he had nothing to fear, because, as you will see in just 1 second, it goes on. It goes on. Oh, so that's actually not E-terminal, that was actually in D-terminal. D-terminal, probably. Anyway. These folk are lining up to get on their plane. Do you want to let me through a little bit? Thank you. Yes, this is the passage to E and F, so that must have been actually considered to be D-terminal. It doesn't say D anywhere, but it must be D if it's telling you that it's going to E. I thought all of this was just E, but my flight goes from F. Koreans feeling free in this country. Perhaps they're North Koreans.
Euro, ruble.
Kim Jong-il's running to change his remaining lubers. I didn't thought they ran that way. I thought they looked like horses when they run. it says welcome to Terminal E. It didn't say welcome to Terminal anything at the other end, but here it says welcome to Terminal E, as you can see. That's no good, is it? That will mean that I keep continually filming the ceiling. That won't be any good. So that's probably better. Okay. Pretty reasonable. That's the smoking area. Don't like that much. We seem to be at the bit where the road comes in and out of the airport. EMF shown here. F to Warsaw is still registering, as they call it. Oh, this is interesting. Toys, and the toys you've got coloured pens. So a small set of Swiss coloured ones is like 32, a slightly larger one is €45. So you don't buy toys at the airport. That's what it is. This is Russian sweets. For a tiny tin of sweets here, €25. Russian sweets, rosyjskie konfety. So you can be sure that in an airport, if you ever get told something's duty free, whatever duties may have been taken off it, you can be sure that some other notional markups have been added in that more than compensate for it. But because people think that they're getting off their tax, they're willing to pay even more than they would have paid normally with tax. That's crazy, isn't it? Not only do you pay more, but you also undermine your own pension. Regular viewers of mine will be no surprise. Will have no surprise at me being disparaging about things that happen in airports. I mean, airports are places where you're forced to go there before it's time. Therefore, you're forced to spend additional time there than you want to spend. And if you have a frequent traveller's card like I do, you expect to be given a lounge access. But here, I don't get that, even though I've got the frequent what's it card, because they've always got some get-out clauses. So that makes you feel, when you come to these places, makes you feel as though you're a bit of an unwilling guest. And that in turn can lead you to make disparaging remarks that you might not otherwise make if you're in a better mood about it. So let's try and focus on some of the good bits. Obviously it's clean and tidy, bright. Probably one day everything will look like this. And certainly if you want to have a nice long walk and it's cold outside and you haven't been able to do much walking, or wet and rainy, or short days with dark nights, then walking along like this in an airport is one way that you can have a reasonable walk. And now in the gates numbered about 36, it says people here going off to Italy, somewhere Venice. They're going to Venice while it's still available to be gone to. The airport isn't actually out on the island part. You have to take a speedboat from the airport to get out there. If you want to know all about that, then you can watch my Venice series. It's all in there. You'll see it, what it looks like. And this is another chocoladnica sitting in here earlier. This is usually the limit of how far I come and go and sit in there. It's a client, and I've got a habit of supporting my clients. If there are two restaurants the same, one of them's a client and the other isn't, then obviously I'm going to go to client because they're giving me money, they're part of what I live off. I'm going to give something back to them, yeah? So it's called keeping it in the family. So this is Foster's brand. It's the Australian beer called Foster's, named after Stephen Foster probably. whoever that is. Oh, more amber, plenty of it around here. At the moment, 4.9. Well, it's nearly a whole kilometre. And we will see how. Just basically, I'm not trying to zigzag and things like that to make it longer than it would be. I could do a bit of that if I wanted to exaggerate, but I'll leave that for television channels to do. This channel's all about showing it like it is, and if you don't like it, well, go back to your fantasy land of mainstream television, where everything's scripted, little cuts, 4 seconds, little 4-second rule, 4 seconds on this face, 4 seconds on the next face, completely phonily spend the time getting ready, or even use 2 cameras with 2 cameramen so that one's focusing on the next face during the 4 seconds while the other guy's doing that, and you cut from one to the other then afterwards and keep the flow of the background. You can do something completely different with the flow of the background. So you've got, with 2 or 3 cameras, you can keep a nice flow going. But how could I do that? I'm not going to walk around with an extra camera now, am I? At this point, you can take the thing you do up, but going down, you either have to use that escalator, which, as you can see, is vicious and actually chops your hand off as it warns you. So I don't want to have that happen to me. I don't think it happened to Lord Snowden, so if we're trying to repeat the Lord Snowden experience, then we should at least avoid the things which, well, I don't see any news reports of Mr. Snowden losing his hand here, so I'm going to try and do that. And we've also got to not show you the left-hand side at this point because it's another security installation, so we're going to do that. I don't believe in compromising security, not that I think I could actually, and certainly there are so many people walking around with all sorts of cameras now. Just about every cell phone or smartphone is a camera as well. Sometimes some of them have got better quality than this, which is a dedicated HD small camera, but it's shaped a bit like a phone. It doesn't do anything but take video. Here we are now in Terminal F. So that's Terminal F. It says welcome to Terminal F. Can you see that? Welcome to Terminal F. I hope I'm not joggling about too much. And at this point we've got 5.1 behind us, so on the extreme end. And we'll see how much there is to do. This is actually now gates 42 through 58. We're in Terminal F. And here it's all on one level really, whereas I think before. This of course is the oldest part, and this is all there was available to look at when I was stomping around here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. 11, 12 years ago. It was only Terminal F here. It wasn't called Terminal F then. It's called Terminal 2. Terminal 2. And the bit for the internal flights was called Terminal what's over the other end of the thing. I think they call it AB now over there, and now it's DEF here. Of course, I don't know where C is, but anyway. Maybe it's ABC over there and DEF here, I just don't know. So D48 will be mine, that's D42. So gate 42. Mine will be gate 48. We have to be there obviously at past, which is nearly now, so oops, we've lost it. Nearly lost my camera. So now I'm near the place where I have to be for going on the camera, going on the camera, for going on the, what do you call that thing that flies from the airplane? So, what have we got? Here's one of those things, Suddenly Shore. So Warsaw's ready, 21. And it's going to go from gate 48. But obviously I want to try and go past it, show you the whole thing, still have a moment to go to the loo and come back to it. I hope I'll be able to do that. Obviously by the time I go to the end of the airport, I'm going to turn off and show you the toilets and everything. That's a bit silly. But this is the quite familiar stomping ground from way back. Of course, if they call us on time, I'll have to cut short my excursion and do it for you a different time, but that would be a pity because I want to show you the whole length of this walk from one end of what's available airside for you to walk around in and do shopping in, right the way to the other. Here's an interesting thing coming up. I used to go in here a little bit. It's called the Irish Bar. So you've got a little Irish bar here. You can see that the sun is going down. It's 8 o'clock. It is, by the way, the 11th of April today, 2014. I better add that because I'm so far behind. I'm actually well over a year's backlog now. So unless I get that backlog cleared, who knows whether you'll be watching this in 2015 or 2016. Unless the backlog clears up, it will be 2016. If you're watching it in 2015, it means the backlog is on its way to clear up. I mean, assuming it's new, I mean obviously it's still going to be up in 2016, but if you're watching it as a new upload in 2015. It's hard for me to say when I'll get the opportunity to do that. So I went past the Polish gate. It's going boarding now for Amsterdam. So Warsaw might board quite soon. Just got to watch these things now because I'm actually quite close to boarding time. Let's go. Let's carry on regardless for the time being and see what happens. Just out of interest, it's 5.4, so it's 5.4 kilometres of walk from one end to another. So if you walk there and back from one end to the other, which is pretty much what I did, it's like a 4-kilometre walk, which is a decent amount for, if you do it twice, of course it can get to 8, which will be your, that's enough to give you your 10,000 steps. So just going up and down this from one end to the other twice in a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, is enough exercise to keep you healthy. And you don't have to get wet. You may be able to tell that this bit here goes around a kind of hexagon thing, so that it's actually continually turning right the whole time at this point. At the end of every stretch you get to turn right again. And here's one of those screens which will tell me if the Polish flight is boarding yet, and if it is, I'll have to abandon ship for this. And I hope that it will not be, so I can just get to the end.
Пассажиров рейса 678 авиакомпании Lord и 3500 авиакомпании
Didn't manage it today.
российские авиалинии.
Left it too late.
Просим пройти на посадку в самолет. Выход номер 48. Уважаемые пассажиры, приготовьте, пожалуйста, паспорт.
Didn't make it.
Посадочные таблицы авиакомпании Lord.
Just got called.
Аэрофлот российские.
Oh well, we weren't too far off it, so as you can see,
Passengers traveling
5.6. But there's another 0.2, 0.3. Wasn't sure it would be a full, but there goes. At least it's something to do another time, doesn't it?